I'm Lucky Day.
I'm Ned Niederlander.
And I'm Dusty Bottoms, and together we are the Three Amigos. Welcome to episode 9 of the Burning Ewok podcast. I am your host, Justin Granson. Along with me, I have...
I'm my buddy Chuck. I'm his buddy Chuck.
Did you say I'm my buddy Chuck?
I'm my buddy Chuck.
I am my own best friend.
That's me.
Okay, this is
This has been rough.
whoa, yeah, like this is quite the start. Like, we're gonna have quite the B-roll on this film. It's all good.
It's freaking hilarious because I was just reading a Reddit post where it was like it went on a tangent about what the hell a friend was, because apparently people don't know what friends are anymore.
Was that like a thing? Like, what is like it's like you talk to them, like you do stuff together.
Yeah.
Like,
and it had like 400 replies about what a friend was.
They're the one that'll help you bury the body. That's a friend.
And then they'll like take stuff from you too.
Yeah.
Like they eat your food, right? That's what a friend does.
Friends at least slow down.
All right. Well, we're all friends here at the Burning Ewok podcast, and we welcome you, friends. And Dan's with us. Dan is back from Orlando. He is no longer Florida man. And I don't know. I know last week we talked a lot about Manor Lords, and I know, Chuck, you dove in.
Yeah, I got through the first, several years. I think I'm 2 or 3 years in. And I think I'm going to start again because the issues I'm running into is I can't keep up I can't keep production up on certain things.
Sure.
I need to I need to centralize my town, the infrastructure better so that it's more efficient.
Are you just playing like the total chillback mode where you don't have people raiding you and you don't have armies coming in?
No, I'm playing the default. So yeah, there are armies.
You got armies and everything. So have you been attacked yet or anything? Did you get to that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
After the second year, you get attacked, and then I've already sent armies out to take out other armies, and so far they've just scared them off. They ran away. They didn't engage. So
run away.
But I can't figure out how to how do you claim new lands, right? I can
help you with that.
Army. I can go into the other land, but I'm like, how do I claim it? And so I kind of did some research, and I don't think I have enough. I didn't have enough influence yet.
Yeah,
but somebody else had already claimed the majority of the land at that point. So I don't even know what is there a time limit? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of time limit if another army goes in there and pushes their influence, like another lord pushes their influence on a region. You have a certain amount of time to challenge them, either to get them to back off or defeat them, and then you could take it over because you'll gain influence that way. But the best way to gain influence is you got to build your manor where you can start doing church tithes, and the more tithes that you actually give to the church, that'll give you more influence. And then also taxation gives you money where you can get mercenaries and a bunch of other stuff. And I think it also how big your population is and everything, because it wasn't until I was over 100. I had about 100 people in my place that I was able to get another area.
Yeah, I had...
But I'm playing wimp mode. I had no armies. I'm just playing chill.
45. I had 45 families. I had 118 people. And I was about 100
families. 100 families, not 100 people. 100
no,
families,
yeah, I only had 45 families.
Okay.
So, yeah, I didn't have it. I was like 1,200 or 1,400 the influence or something.
Bring me up to speed here. because I haven't played it yet. Is this more like Civilization or Total War, or combining the two?
I would say more of Civilization. It's closer to
Yeah, I would agree
Civilization,
with that,
and
yeah.
it's smaller scale, much smaller scale.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
you are
Yeah.
building your. It's a small area of made up of what, about 6 to 8 regions maybe total, and each
Mhm.
region is enough for you to build your town and have about 100 families before your resources are used up.
Okay.
Each of the regions may be heavier in resources. So the one I just currently played had a lot of iron. So I was able to just crank out armor and weapons and just sell them. I was just like Mr. Open Trade guy with that stuff, and I kept it really low since I wasn't needing an army in the version I was playing at. That got a lot of money that way. But then you can also do with crops, grain, things like that. Some areas will have not as good land for growing crops. Others have great land. It all just kind of depends. You know, you can have a lot more animals to hunt or a lot more berries to pick. Uh, but yeah, it's real time, and I would say it's closest to Civilization, just on a smaller scale. But it's super micromanagey with like the things that you can sell and put on the market, and I think it's just going to get better and better. Like I'm at the point where I'm done with the game. I'm done until like the next version of it, and then I'll see what they changed and play it there, because I don't want to burn myself out and then all of a sudden it goes out. 1.0 comes out and I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I want to see, I think it's a while, 6 months to a year away from minimum to being done.
I think
So
it's supposed to be released at the end of the year, right?
it'll be about 6 months then. So yeah, I mean, it needs at least that much from what it feels like. But again, I'm not a game developer. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. What are your impressions, Chuck? I mean, you've seen the.
I felt like it was pretty good. I mean, after that first year or second year or whatever, I was like, what? Like, really, where does this go beyond this? So yeah, I don't know. Maybe like that's my only thing is what's the longevity?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I'm like getting to like mid or late game, and I'm like, I don't know.
Is it
The
multiplayer?
it doesn't
Not
really
yet.
it doesn't really hold your attention. You know.
Oh,
So
see, I was completely wrapped into it. Now, but I started the game probably about 6 or 7 different times.
yeah.
Just like, I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to do it this way. That didn't work. And I ran into a lot of bugs, and some of the bugs, like, I'm like, oh, there's a bug, and that's why that building's not getting built. And I just wasted 6 months. I'll start over again. So I would do a lot of that. And that's why I said I want to play the game when it's more polished.
Well, sometimes, yeah. I mean, sometimes the materials, like I don't understand how suddenly I wasn't producing planks. Like I have no idea why. I could
Did you?
not figure out
Okay.
the life of me.
So I had the same problem. Did you level up your houses to make them like
Yes.
joiners and things like that?
Yes.
Yeah, they
And
suck your
so,
planks away so fast. So
okay.
those houses that you've upgraded, all those
Mhm.
families, like once you upgrade a house, that family then like gets locked in as, okay, this is a blacksmith, this is a wood joiner, this is a shield
Right.
maker, this
Yes.
is whatever, and they suck resources constantly.
That's the
And
problem.
so what you have to do then is you have to build another sawmill, you have to build another, yeah, you just got to keep going and just like throw like as many people and families on those things as you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned some of that the hard way for sure.
Same thing, and then like how many oxes should you get? And yeah, it was, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna watch videos on it because it's figuring out like how to optimize your town.
sure.
That's a
Yeah,
challenge.
no, and I think I got to the point where I figured out how to optimize it, and that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm done now. Let's see how it goes.
Did you ever-
Because I know there's a lot of imbalance to it still. So
Yeah, did you ever get into sheep or anything?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a pasture with sheep, little
barely
sheep running
touch sheep.
around, and then when you do the trade, you could do um the livestock trade. And so you
Yeah.
could just order as many. Like I had enough money. I was at like 5,000 money or whatever, like at
Wow,
least.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
No,
So I was just like, just keep buying
continuously
sheep.
ran out.
I just kept buying sheep and just loading it up, and then I just had wool everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you then? Was that early game that you got the sheep? Or?
No. That was later. That was towards the end.
Okay.
That was one of the last things I got.
Mm.
So, and then it was like, I actually got to the point where it's like, hey, you beat the game because you got like to the level that this version wanted you to do, and it said you want to keep going, and I said no, and then it kicked me out of the game, and it was it. I could go back to the save, I suppose, but I'm like, oh, I could have gone and played sandbox mode and just played with it more, but I don't know. I don't know if I needed to.
You get a lot of resources when you take out like one of the raiders' camps.
Oh,
You
yeah,
get a lot
see?
of stuff, yeah.
Oh, see, that's cool. See, that's the stuff I want to play with more, and I had a real hard time figuring out how to make armies. So we might have to connect later on. You show me how to do
Oh
that.
yeah. It's not hard.
Okay. That was
Yeah.
like the one thing I kind of struggled with, and then so I never even looked it up though. I was like struggling with other stuff too, so I was figuring out that. So I figured out the whole economy of the game, and I figure next time I play it, I'll play it all out and get an army and everything.
Yeah, that's what I would say that this game was. That's the thing that I thought this game was lacking was like, how the hell do you do anything? Like if you go to the help section, it's just like, yeah, this is a church and this is a house,
Yeah.
whatever, and it doesn't explain how or why
Yeah.
you'd want this. You
Yeah,
know?
no, I
So,
mean, there's like a subreddit on it where people are talking about how to do stuff, and it's early access. That's there.
Yep.
It's a work in progress. They don't have that stuff's all getting built. Good on them. I like passion projects, and it definitely feels like one. And
man, it's a beautiful game too.
and the music, right? How's that music?
Music is amazing.
Fantastic music.
So good.
I guess the soundtrack's on Spotify. I was going to check it out.
Yeah, it is the most wished for game on Steam right now with over 3 million wish lists.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's not done though. It still needs time to cook, and I do hope they're putting a multiplayer in there. It doesn't have it now, but I really hope that's in the works. I didn't look to see if it was, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm glad you tried it, Dan. Check it out. Tell us what you think later on.
I got to download it. I just haven't fired it up yet.
Cool. But you did get back into something else, right? And you kind of dragged me along with you.
Yeah, Diablo 4 is fun again.
We can go back like a couple of weeks where you're talking a lot of crap about it. I love it.
Yeah, because it wasn't fun, right? And then season 4 hit, and they made it rain loot, and made you basically rip through mobs now. So it very much. I've seen post after post on subreddit comparing it back to Diablo 3 in the latest seasons for Diablo 3, and yeah, it's fun. I fired it up when I got back from Orlando, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it again. What
level
nice.
are you, and what you specking?
58. I'm playing a rogue, and it's all specced out for right now for barrage and puncture. So that'll change to probably a Heartseeker build later once I get to level 70.
Yeah, doing the Heartseeker penetrating shot with barrage is a.
Yeah, and now keep in mind, right? Like, there's a bunch of new stuff for us. Ooh, crap! Sorry.
Oh, we just lost him. He's gone. He went back to Florida.
Just falling off my desk there. No, but there's like the pit, and they totally reworked, like the upper level end game stuff, so that it's a lot harder at the higher levels of called torment, and go back to the nightmare levels. They're like insanely hard. The pit is the new end game mode that they put in with this season. It's supposed to be really, really hard as you get up there in levels, and you really have to have amazing gear to conquer it at the top levels. So as much fun as we're having right now, we'll see what it turns into as we get closer to the end game again, right?
Yeah. I too am doing a rogue, and I'm like level 35, so I'm behind you a little bit there, but you level up quicker. I mean, I haven't played it that long, and you level up. I think your guy even just walks faster in general. Like everything just seems to it moves. Everything moves.
You can gallop in towns now, which is amazing, because you couldn't do that before. It was so frustrating. You're sitting there on your horse walking through town, and it just takes freaking
It's
ever.
like these people don't care. They're pathetic and miserable anyway. It doesn't matter. Just stomp over them.
Yeah.
It's like that'd be like a good day if you get stepped on in a horse in the Diablo universe.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like if you if you go back to when Diablo 4 was released, right, in like all the dev talks and in their posts on the Blizzard forums and stuff, they talked about like they purposefully slowed the game down because they wanted it to take longer for people to get through the content. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, right, there's a lot of areas to explore. It's much bigger than Diablo 3, in my opinion.
Oh, way bigger.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about it, actually.
Yeah. But there's still not a lot of content, right? There's only so much. I mean, you could probably hop on your horse and ride from one side of the map to the other in about 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And there's a ton. When I say there's not a lot of content, I mean there's not a lot of areas to explore, and there's not a whole lot of variety to everything, right?
What are you talking about? You got your swamp, you got your desert, you got your snowy area, and you got your mountainy area. What else do you need?
Yeah, exactly. And hell, right? You got your.
No, but that's underground stuff. I'm just talking the overworld things. The Helltide stuff. Speaking of hell, the Helltide stuff has been fantastic. That's where I've been enjoying the gameplay the most. Yeah. So they really and there's some new enemies. I noticed some new creatures that I never saw before that they added in there. I don't know unless I just wasn't paying attention.
I think they're mostly the same. There might be one or two, but
I don't remember those big ass worm things jumping out of the ground and barfing up a bunch of bad guys before.
Yeah, but you don't attack the worm, right?
Well, then there's those dudes with the hooks that pull you in. I don't remember those. They're like mini butchers.
The worms are in Diablo 3.
They are in Diablo 3, but they weren't in Diablo 4.
Yeah. But the hook guys, those are just like mini butchers.
Yeah. I don't remember them before. I don't know. But it was a while. I mean, like I looked and it had been literally a year or like 11 months since I played it last.
Yeah. And they did do some quality of life stuff. They totally reworked gems, and they totally reworked the aspects, right? So the aspects is so much better now.
Well, I don't lose any now.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't lose anything now.
Right.
So if I have a good weapon and it has something I like on it, as soon as I go and take it to the blacksmith, he goes, tears it apart, and then whatever it had on it, I can drop on something else later on. If I so choose.
The best one that you collect will always be what you get when you add add it to the weapon, right?
Oh, is that how it works? So it's whatever I had, that exact version, and if I get a better version of it somewhere else and go and scrap that, I'll get the better version in my what do they call that? They call that
in the codex.
I understand that, but what's the move that you do at the blacksmith, the new move? To add it's not an aspect.
That's different. That's tempering.
That's what I was talking about. I was talking about tempering.
Yeah, no. The aspects is when you whatever disenchant whatever your weapon, and the blacksmith makes it go poof, right? And you get your materials back. If it's a legendary, it takes the legendary effect and adds it to your codex of aspects.
Okay.
Tempering is the mobs drop the little recipes, and you right click on them and you learn them.
Oh, okay. So only the recipes are for tempering.
Yeah.
So the aspects are getting pulled off. I didn't even catch that. I've been just clicking and blowing stuff up and like letting it rip.
Yeah.
So.
You can do both, plus do the gems. Now the tempering is random. So the tempering is like the old enchanting.
Yeah, I've already had to do that because I like Rain of Arrows a lot.
Yeah.
And
so
I've got a few of those, and you can re-roll them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so and you can only re-roll them like a couple times.
Yeah,
right?
It's like 2 or 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, so the cool thing I think is as you collect better recipes for each temper, it increases the range of stats that you can hit on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's good stuff, so far. I like the way they rework gems,
I'm into it. I'm liking the new content. I like the Iron Wolf stuff. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be playing. I think, Chuck, this is a good time to jump on.
Well, yeah, I guess I could. I was just a little intimidated by the fact that I hadn't played, and you guys were like already like.
Oh
Level
no,
30,
no! You just
50,
jump in and play it because you'll play through the campaign before you do anything
Yeah,
else.
right.
And the campaign is excellent. I think the campaign is absolutely fantastic. For anybody jumping on, and if like you just want to play the campaign, don't care about any endgame stuff, it's a fantastic game. I don't think they changed that much. They've the quality of life stuff moves over into the campaign, but like story wise and everything, you'll get all that. It'll be the same. And once you get through the campaign, anytime you start a new character, you could just jump in without having to do the campaign again. Because like remember Diablo 3, you always had to run through the campaign and do all that at first. I mean, before that all changed up. I mean. Blizzard's got a long-term goal on this game for sure. Like I said, I'm not going to be really happy until the first expansion comes out and I get new lands to traverse, because I imagine those will be significantly bigger. Because I mean, it is when you play it, it's an open world Diablo, and as you play this game, Chuck, it's you remember like Diablo 3. In the original version there were 4 acts. But 5 total with the expansion, and you really couldn't go outside of those areas. You just kind of ran through it like you were on rails. This is totally open world, but the open world doesn't change, So the one thing is like only you go into dungeons and they'll be randomized like old school Diablo as you go into them. But and some of these dungeons go on, pretty significant,
forever.
Not really forever, but I mean they're significant, so it's like it's a whole other part of the game,
bit, right? So now it's a lot less. It takes a lot less time to run through a dungeon now, right?
Sure.
When it first came out, like when Diablo 4 first came out, I can't remember what the critics were saying, but I just remember like not being overwhelmingly interested in it. But one of the things that I was wondering if they put in it was like, they used to have like secret levels and stuff.
Okay, so
because I heard that wasn't, like the cow level or whatever.
Oh, there's stuff that people are still trying to figure out. I don't know. Like, where are we at with the cow level right now? It never got found, but okay. So little by little, people have been discovering things. And like I said, I hadn't played in a year, so I kind of fell off, and I don't know where the cow level was. But I mean, if you look at the map, part of the map kind of looks like the face of a cow.
Like a cow. I saw that.
There's certain things that you could find after you kill exactly 666 cows.
Oh no!
You get a drop.
Cool. Oh, interesting.
And it's one of 3 different things, and then you have to go somewhere else and do stuff, and then that's where I kind of fell off and didn't know where it went beyond there. So
I don't think it's in yet. I think that's the main thing. They've left clues as to how it's going to be unlocked when it's finally in. But I think they're waiting until eventually people get bored of the content, right? And you always need some carrot to keep throwing in front of people, and that'll be it. It'll be like, hey, season 7's here, and boom, there's a glass of milk on the table somewhere, and you drink it, and
only every 6 times you play, though. I mean,
right,
and then when you drink it, maybe 1 out of 32 times it'll drop an item, So that's one thing. And then, I mean, how long did it take till we got Rainbow World or whatever that was in Diablo 3? Was that after the expansion or was that before?
Oh, after.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, then you had the Treasure Goblin World, which was fun, right? Which was amazingly fun, right? Just a blast.
Just ridiculous, yeah.
You got that when as soon as they dropped the cube which was in the expansion, the cube thing, right? Where you
the Herato cube.
Yeah. So as soon as that was there and they released all the recipes, that's when you got that in D3.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? I mean, they could still add runes to this. They could add transmogs. There's so many things they can still do to this game that they haven't even touched.
Could do, would be forget the old stuff, right? No cow level. Throw in a StarCraft level, right? You go in and boom, it's like freaking Zerg.
Takes you into Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
It's the one thing I always thought with Blizzard always missed the boat, because I know they're always very careful about their IPs, right? But now that they're owned by Microsoft, right? I think that you have a much bigger chance, and Microsoft's really big on crossovers and touching, kind of touching tips between different franchises. I think that I think they always miss the boat. World of Warcraft came out. It was Warcraft, right? Existed well before World of Warcraft, right? Going World of Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. And then you had StarCraft 1, I think StarCraft 2 came out after World of Warcraft, but
yeah, well after
in
World
the
of
game
Warcraft.
engines that they build, and they have these really big IPs, I always thought they missed the boat by continuing just to release the same stories in the game engines when they could mix it up and make or give us the StarCraft world in Diablo's end game engine, right? Or, whatever that, Overwatch, Overwatch's world in World of Warcraft would be really cool, right? That kind of a crossover. So, but who knows? Now that you got other IPs available, right? Like, hey, let's give us a Halo level in Diablo, right? All of a sudden, boom, the Covenant are invading. You never know what you're gonna get, right?
That would be wild, dude.
Yeah, and Microsoft owns all these different things, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw what the new Fortnite crossover is going to be Fallout, right? They're not afraid to open up the vault and let no pun
Literally.
intended. Literally, right? And I mean, spread the brands around. It's fun to do that, I think, and I don't think anything's when you talk about a game like Diablo 4, and like some purists may be like, well, hey, you can't mess with it.
Oh, no. There's like a million fanboys that are going to listen to this, minus about a million, that are going to get really upset about what you're saying right now because, you're totally messing with the lore, man. It's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Because you still,
right?
honestly, like, there's no lore in what you're doing right now in this content. The lore is like the game, the single player campaign,
Right.
you play
Yeah,
through it.
exactly.
And then you've got these side things they do in the season. Sure, you can call that part of the lore, but if you threw in a Halo level or I don't know, a Gears of War level, who cares? It's nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It keeps the game alive.
Yeah.
It keeps people interested.
Yeah.
And you might find some new game elements out of it too. I mean, like you already got the portals bit into Halo. Right there. The way that the teleportation works is very similar to Diablo. I mean, there's a lot that can be done there. I love the Halo Wars games, which are real-time strategies, which are very similar to the Warcraft games and the StarCraft games. I think there's a lot to be said there too. So, I don't hate your ideas, Dan. Not bad.
And I think like if correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I went through the whole campaign. But doesn't the campaign in D4 kind of reveal that Sanctuary is essentially like purgatory between heaven and hell?
I don't freaking know, man.
That's kind of cool.
It might be. I can't remember. I don't know.
And that's why everything just keeps getting respawned. Like there's this whole lore behind the whole thing.
Like I kind of knew the lore a lot better until Diablo 4. I guess that's the one thing that if I were to criticize the campaign, it just doesn't fit or feel like it flows as well as 1, 2, and 3 did together. Like 1, 2, and 3 really feel like there's a cohesive storyline with Deckard Cain and like you've got this one character that takes you through where you don't have that in this one. It just kind of starts anew, like you said, and it's just like this cycle of events or whatever that's happening. But it's just like all the angels. It's different angels that are in this one that weren't in the last ones, and so it's just like I don't know who these guys are. Let's just kill stuff, and that's kind of where I go. But if you're right,
petals, man.
The red petals.
Yeah, I call them Zuzu
petals.
Zuzu's petals.
Because I'm always like, man, what the hell's with the damn petals?
Little blood petals, man.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm not dinking on the campaign and the backstory and everything. I thought it was a cool story and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it works as its own separate thing. It just didn't flow into it doesn't feel organically from the last one. Where 1, 2, and 3 kind of flow together a little bit better.
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, it's not a game breaker at all for me. I just like I just go like when you ask the question, I'm like, yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. I just know what's happening at this particular moment in the game that I'm playing, and it's just like that damn lady needs me to help her with an exorcism again. You know, I love it though. I do. I really love Diablo games. I've loved every single one of them. I think this is my favorite one, and I think it's always been my favorite one since it came out, just because I like the game style and the open worldness of it, knowing that it's also going to get incremental improvements, and we're not at where it's going to end up. So I've always said I've never like been a harsh critic of it. I've just been because if I get bored of it, I just stop playing it, and then I know like later on I can come back to it. Which you started talking it up, so of course I jumped on, and I blame you. That's why I've been playing too much Diablo 4 again.
I'm gonna download it.
Download it. Get through that campaign, and maybe we should like hook up and like all three of us can play a game. Maybe we can get something running on Twitch where we can get into a game and stream something. I think that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, because I know they've got an interface built into it. Actually, when Chuck, we don't have to talk about that. Anyway, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, let's not talk about how the sausage is made. Anyway, yeah, Diablo 4, cool stuff. Anything else on that, guys? I finished a TV show this week.
Oh, really? So did I.
Oh, yeah?
Right. All three of us.
Are like a series or just a single show?
No, it was a series.
Oh, okay. Well, I went through X-Men 97, the animated series on Disney+. I don't know if you guys ever watched the original X-Men series that was in the 90s that was actually like the reason that the X-Men movies actually got made. Fox saw that they had something there. People were really hyped by it. Decided to throw money behind a movie, and, you know, it's actually really kind of the birth of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though it's not quite, but it is, but it's not. The original series takes place. It starts like it's like a 4 or 5 season set of episodes that progressively get worse as it goes along, especially in the animation department. The last season is definitely outsourced to probably some dude's garage, and it really, but it does rip through like some of the best X-Men storylines back in the day, and this is a continuation on that, but it has a level of sophistication behind it. It keeps a lot of the same styles. It absolutely lets you know that this is taking place in the 90s where everything was extreme and buff and super big hair and CD Walkmans, and there's a certain charm about it that they know, and they just dive into it and embrace it. There's a certain cheese factor that they keep along with it too, but then also they nail the comic so well. I don't know how many, if you guys read a lot of X-Men comics. I read a ton of X-Men comics in the 90s, so this is like my X-Men, you know. I was reading them in the late 80s or in the 90s. That was my time where Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane and all those were kind of ruling the comic book scope or escape, and it's worth watching if you really if you like animation. You could sit through watching a half-hour cartoon for only 8-10 episodes or whatever. The theme song is the same from the old one, and it's a banger, and yeah, it is really fast-paced. It is really deep in lore with X-Men. It's good. It's really good. I can't wait for the next ones to come out. I don't know. I think it's also a huge hit on Disney Plus. They've already got the second season done. It's just sitting in a can waiting to be released, but they're going to slow release them, and they just ordered 2 more seasons of it.
That's cool.
And I know the showrunner, we discussed this earlier, like a few weeks ago. We talked about how the showrunner, on the week that they released the first episode, they fired him.
Oh,
yeah.
Because there was like the whole thing going on with that.
Yeah, right? He's apparently just a jerk. I don't know. Allegedly, he's just a terrible human being. I don't know. But man, he really got the show. I hope that the 3rd and 4th season are going to be as good as the first 2 are going to be. So, because I have no doubt that they know what they're doing with this. So I hope that carries on with the new ones. So X-Men, what'd you watch, Chuck?
It's not even really worth bringing up. I mean,
you
X-Men
said
cool.
you said okay. No, let's go on.
It's just
Cool.
the last episode of The Good Doctor was on, and I was forced to watch it.
Oh,
Did your wife ever make you watch that show, Dan?
Dude, I think my wife is watching that show right this moment. I think she's upstairs watching The Good Doctor.
Yeah. You know,
bring up a GIF for The Good Doctor. I want to see if it's the same show that she's watching, if I see the actors in it. There's got to be a GIF for The Good Doctor.
Dude, right? It's the autistic kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that. I don't know nothing about this show except that
he's got. And I mean, I think it depicted. I think it depicted. He did that guy acted really like I thought the dude really had autism, to be honest with you. But
okay, that does nothing for me. I have no idea what that is.
But to be honest with you, like I thought the show ended really, really well. I think I really liked the way they wrapped it up. I thought it was a really good ending. And I understand it's fiction, and I understand it's also like shows how like somebody with autism can excel, and I totally believe that. But I also like so many times he would have like outbursts and stuff, and I'm like, there's no way this guy would work in a hospital. There's no way. But I mean, I understand.
Wait. So the Good Doctor is also an autistic doctor?
Yeah, he's autistic, but he's like really like he can like
autism. No,
figure stuff out.
Well, that's like autism. You can do everything. Like you really can. You can.
Hauser is what he is.
Yeah, okay. But it's autism. But sometimes he would just say things like so like nonchalant to like a patient, like you're gonna die or whatever, and it's like there's no way, like you can't have a doctor say stuff like that. I mean, guess Brandon House, right?
Yeah, trust me, you can. You absolutely can, and I've seen it. Yeah. There are doctors. There are a lot of doctors that have zero bedside manner. That is a very common thing. Very common. And depending on what kind of doctors you're dealing with, the terrible bedside manner.
Yeah, you would know better. But then
a lot of doctors. But then there's a lot of people like myself. Like if it's to me, like if somebody's dealing with my wife or children, I want good bedside manner. To me, I don't care. Just tell me I'm going to die.
Me neither.
I just be blunt. Tell me I shouldn't drink diet soda. I'm dead because of it. I get it. Fine. Whatever. Give me Dr. Nick.
I absolutely agree with you 100%.
I don't want Dr. Nick. I don't want Dr. Nick. I want but my whole opinion is I want the smartest person out there to do the job. I'm not somebody who wants, it's like the same way I look at politicians and all the things. I want the best people always to do the job. I don't want somebody I want to drink a beer with to be my doctor, like if they could do that also, bonus.
Kirk's best friend was a doctor, and I always wanted a doctor best friend, but I didn't get one. I don't, not that the quality of my friends are bad or anything. I just don't have any friends that are doctors. That's all.
Oh my God.
But I didn't work in a hospital. I didn't work IT in a hospital. So like you've experienced the worst of the worst. So
I don't know if it's the worst of the worst. I think it's just a different perspective of it, because I've had a lot of those doctors that have really great bedsides yell at me, when it's not even, but because they're just looking for somebody to vent, or I've seen them tear into nurses, but they've gotten a lot better over the last 20 years. I'll tell you that also, but anyway, Good Doctor. Didn't expect that. You dropped Good Doctor after X-Men.
It was a big deal that the show was the series finale.
I'm not
At least
judging.
12 people watched it, so
I think 12 billion people probably watched it. I know it's pretty big.
God, it really wasn't that good of a show, man. Like I was shocked it lasted that many seasons.
Oh my gosh, look at it's like what is it? Like Suits was like the biggest thing on Netflix for like a year. Might still be like probably top
Suits
5.
Was over for I watched Suits when it was first out.
I know.
It's been off the air for like years.
And last year it was like the #1 show on Netflix.
I know.
So
I thought it was a great show. I thought it was a good show. Like it reminded me of like old school LA Law, but like better.
With a twist. Old school LA Law. Corbin Barronson.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And what's his name? Jimmy Smits, right?
Yeah. Jimmy Smith was on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bail Organa to you all. Mr. Bail Organa, I'll say. Senator Bail Organa to all of us. Senator Bail Organa.
That's hilarious.
Moment of silence for Bail.
Oh man.
Was
How about
he
you, Dan?
on,
You said
he
you
on
finished
Alderaan?
He was on Alderaan. Yeah, he's toast.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. I don't really have any emotional connection to Bail Organa because, like I've always known him as being dead, and then like they brought him,
So you're like,
they
oh,
brought
that
him into
guy, he
like
dies
episode 2 and 3, and then they brought him into the Obi-Wan show. He's been a character, an ongoing character in Clone Wars, and also in Rebels. And so it's like, oh, he's a good guy, cool guy. I like him. Bail Organa, cool. But I never like worried because it was he'll die, and never like really worried about his fate because I already knew it. So it's like when you start at the lowest, it's like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I think if they would like have a character that they could build up in Star Wars, like all through the Clone Wars, like let's say Captain Rex. Do you guys know who Captain Rex is?
Yeah.
Captain Rex is one of the greatest characters in Star Wars that isn't in any of the movies. So, and I'm really hoping he shows up in the next season of Ahsoka. Huh?
I thought he is. I thought he's the commando in Return of the Jedi.
That is a possibility. Yes, he could be
I thought it's canon now.
I don't know if it's canon. I think the community is making it canon, but I don't think the people who put the stamp on it have 100% put the stamp on it. So let's say the stamp's not on it. You're looking right now, okay?
I am not.
All right. Well, okay. If it is canon, it's gonna blow my story. But let's say it isn't canon, and they
made it into one of the kids' books. They put him in one of the kids' books, and it says years later, Rex and other clones joined the rebellion to fight the Empire. One of the kids.
Okay, so I got to come up with a different character. Hondo. You guys know who Hondo is?
Oh, I think I know.
He's one of the bounty hunter, smuggler, scoundrel guys that's inside Rebels. He's also in Clone Wars. He's not a great character. People seem to like Chopper. We all love Chopper. Everybody knows who Chopper is.
Yeah,
Chopper.
The droid.
No, it doesn't work either because he lives.
Well,
no, I don't know. Anyway,
point.
you know what? Okay, so the point is Chopper. Everybody loves Chopper, and I think this works. So let's say everybody's like, they have like another season of Ahsoka, and it leads he ends up in Andor. The show Andor, the second season. The second season of Andor is going to end right at the beginning of Rogue One. And we know what happens at the end of Rogue One. It leads right into Episode 4. So we know what happens in Episode 4. Alderaan's destroyed. So let's say at the end of the Andor show, Chopper is like, and they're like, oh, you're going to Alderaan. That's awesome. I hope you have a great time there and you get to not worry about, fighting anymore. And then so you just see a little ship with Chopper going to Alderaan right at the end of Andor season 2. That's like the last thing you see. You'd be like, damn. See, that's like one you build up and then now you know his fate. Now you have an emotional connection. It's the opposite Bail Organa factor.
Here you go.
Yeah. So I think they need to put more characters I don't like onto ships though and send them to Alderaan at the end of Andor. So yeah.
What'd you call it? The Bail Organa factor?
The Bail Organa factor, yeah. It's the emotional dissonance I feel to characters that die because I knew their fate way long ago.
Oh man.
That's the name of this episode, the Bail Organa factor. I'm writing it down. Bail Organa factor.
That was a hell of a line, I have to admit.
Okay, I like it though. I like it. I'm gonna workshop this and see if we could go somewhere. And then like the opposite would be a character that dies in the same circumstances, but I didn't know that.
I just heard that they're gonna do a Marvel show on Disney with what's his name? The guy that.
They are definitely doing Marvel shows on Disney. I'm going to vamp while you think about this. So I know there's a lot of Disney shows on Disney Plus.
It's the guy with the gem in his head. Come on,
Vision Quest.
Vision. Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm not that into the Marvel stuff.
Vision. Well, no. Like it was like I think Vision Quest with.
It should be Vision's Quest.
No, but they just announced it, right? Like
they announced it like 4 years ago. 4
Yeah,
years
no,
ago.
Shut up.
They said that was always in the works. It was kind of the successor to WandaVision.
Yeah.
Would
Which
be what
makes
happened.
sense.
It's White Vision. White Vision is actually
White Vision.
one of the forms of Vision in the comics also. And
Okay.
they did say that it was still, but honestly, man, with what everything Disney's doing right now with Marvel, or I should just say what Marvel's doing, I don't know. Until it's made and they have it in theaters or have it on
Yeah, I guess
TV,
you're
it's
right.
like whatever. Because they literally have Ironheart filmed and completed, sitting waiting. They have the Agatha Harkness show,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
which had an awesome, fun joke last week. It was like, I forget it. It was a great. Like they've been coming up with all these different titles, and everybody was wondering what the title was. It's a play off of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's just like something witch with an awesome wardrobe, and it was like it was like pretty good, And so, but they've had that, which is another spinoff of
Yeah.
WandaVision. That's all
Yeah.
completed. It's been done for like a year. And it's got a great cast too, and they just haven't known where to drop it. So they've got that. They've got Ironheart. Ironheart's the character from the second Black Panther movie. She gets the Iron Man tech, and she's fighting along with the Wakandans at the end. That's Ironheart. So she's got an entire show that takes place in Chicago. That's been done. They've also filmed Wonder Man, which is about. It's kind of like Wonder Man is. He was a West Coast Avenger. He's a stuntman. It's similar to like the Fall Guy, but more of like a Superman type of character. He's been in the comics forever. It's not like a new thing, like playing off of Wonder Woman. It was an old thing playing off of Wonder Woman.
It's the Wonder Woman.
So they've got those all done.
That's crazy.
They've
That's
got
so crazy
a lot
to
of
me.
Daredevil's already been filmed, and
They're worried about the thing that I think I was reading said that they were talking about. The fear that they have is that people want to watch everything because they think like they have to watch every single piece of content in order to get the whole story. So they're trying to like get away from that because I think it stresses people out and then they don't watch anything.
Screw them. I want the cohesive universe that like dips in, because it's really not true. There are very few movies that they've released that you have to have watched other movies to know what's going on.
Oh yeah, no.
Name one.
No.
Like maybe the biggest one. You probably wouldn't want to go into Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah.
If you watched Endgame, you might have wanted to watch one or two of the movies before that. But that was like a culmination build-up event movie, and it did really well, so I don't think that was an issue. But like Shang-Chi, you don't need to watch anything else to know that.
No, but I think you're in constant. If you're like a fan, right? Not a casual fan, but a fan, of which there are many. I think Chuck's kind of right. I think there's this kind of stress that you're going to miss out on a joke or an Easter egg and not know what's going on. And I think
that's fair, though.
I think ultimately, I don't even think that's the deal with Marvel and Disney right now. Is that they way oversaturated and they way overestimated who is going to like what.
They're just fine. They're just fine. There's no issue. There's no issue. There's no issue because like the last movie didn't make quite what they wanted it to make. You got Deadpool coming out in 2 months. Well, they're gonna be okay. Deadpool's gonna make $1.5 billion, trillion. It's gonna make so much money. It doesn't matter.
That movie's gonna be huge.
It's absolutely huge.
There's a lot of people who are projecting that Deadpool makes or breaks the next cycle of movies for Marvel.
Well, then it makes it. It's gonna make $1.5 billion. It's gonna make so much money. It's gonna make all the money.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
I hope it does. And
Fantastic Four is going to do just fine. Everybody's going to go see Fantastic Four.
I've never been interested in that Fantastic Four.
With this cast, you will. No, I think they're the best. Like, this is the one I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for a good version, because the best version of it right now is The Incredibles.
Yes.
Do you like The Incredibles?
Yes, The Incredibles is
that is the Fantastic Four. That's it. You know, I mean,
That makes
not
sense.
exactly, but I mean, like that type of family interaction and that heartfelt true family, like, because it's an actual family, you know,
Right.
and that's what the Fantastic Four and the cast is just out of this world.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, I like Pedro Pascal a lot, but I do not see him as what was it? What
Reed
was the name?
Richards.
Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reed Richards.
I don't see him
I
as Reed
don't.
Richards. Sorry.
I think it'd be
I
fine.
don't see. I think
it's a
he'll be
terrible
fine. Yeah,
character.
I don't
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
problem
he'll
with that.
absolutely be fine because the thing is, you can't have him too similar to Doctor Strange or Tony Stark.
I
And
like,
if they
you know
if
what?
they give him the edge where he is like, there's this different type of arrogance to that character, and that's what that character is. There's like a certain level of arrogance in him, and and it's just like I think it's good casting because I think he's different than if they would have just cast like a normal Reed Richards looking dude. I think he would be too much like the characters that we already have in the Marvel universe.
I think they screwed themselves when they had John Krasnick as
That's
him
my opinion on that.
in
Yeah.
the last Doctor Strange.
Yes, I was just gonna say that because
Because
everybody
that's
saw
what
that and they're
everybody
like,
thinks
"Oh,
of
that's
him.
who's gonna be," you know, and then they didn't do that, probably because he's busy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I just don't see him as that role.
I think it'll work. I
I think
think
it's
it'll
gonna
work.
work. I think it'll be just fine.
I think it'll work.
I actually like him better than John Krasinski also. So
Yeah.
I just like him as
I
an
know,
actor. He's,
man.
I think, one of the best guys out there ever since Game of Thrones. I've loved that dude.
I loved him in Game of Thrones, and I loved him in The Good Wife. He's actually in The Good Wife in the early seasons. He plays one of
Is
the
that a
district.
prequel to The Good Doctor?
No.
I think my wife was actually watching The Good Wife, not The Good Doctor.
No, but The Good Wife is like
I don't
That
know.
would
Like, do you have a
that
gift
would
for The
make
Good
more
Wife? I can
sense.
tell you if that's the one. I actually,
The Good
no,
Wife
don't. I'm
is the
joking.
legal show. Is the lawyer show, right?
I thought that was The Good Witch.
No.
There's a Good Witch,
No.
right? There's a Good Witch. I'm
Well, I
pretty sure
don't
there's
know
a Good
anything
Witch.
about Good Witch. But The Good Witch also had like his two spin-offs. Or not The Good Witch, The Good Wife. Bastard. Oh man. But anyways, I don't like him as the Mandalorian, man.
I love him.
I
He's
love
not.
him as the
He's not even the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. He's the voice of the Mandalorian. He had like 2 episodes where you saw him. He's just a
No,
voice.
yeah.
That stunt double is doing all the work. Anyway,
True.
and he's fantastic in Last of
Vader.
Us. He is so good in The Last of Us.
I still have to watch that.
Yeah, I have to watch
It's your favorite show you haven't watched. You guys are gonna love it. Absolutely love that one. It gets the Bernie Newalk stamp of approval, even without you guys giving it the stamp yet. I'm gonna just
I'm sure
put that on there.
I know enough about it.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, Dan, did you say that you watched the show, or did we already cover this?
I did watch a show. I actually watched a movie. I watched a bunch of movies on the plane.
Ooh, movies.
Yep. So I watched The Judge, which was pretty good. Got Robert Duvall as best supporting actor.
Yes.
A couple years back, right? 2 years ago.
Yeah, I watched The Good Judge.
Are you messing with us right now? Oh.
Anyway, go ahead. Okay, The Judge. How was it? Robert Duvall. I love Robert Duvall.
It was good, and it's got Robert Downey Jr. as the lead, and it's kind of hard to watch just because it's about a guy and his dad, and his dad goes on trial for like essentially murdering somebody with his car, but the dad's going through like memory loss.
Oof.
So it kind of hits hard if you've got parents that are going through memory loss and whatnot. And it's funny because Robert Downey Jr. just cannot turn off the Tony Stark, so he's essentially plays a Tony Stark lawyer through the whole movie. But it's really good. It's got a good cast. It's got what's the name, Billy Bob Thornton and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh damn, that is an amazing cast.
Yeah, really good. So some cool twists in there too in the movie. But it's a little hard to watch, but it's very good. Robert Duvall is fantastic. And then I watched The Pale Blue Eyes, which was really good. Stars Christian Bale, right? Plays a detective back at West Point, I think. Not West Point. It's just like a military academy in New York. And he's joined by a sidekick to investigate a murder of a cadet by Edgar Allan Poe, who's a cadet at the military academy, and it's played by the kid that plays Dursley in Harry Potter. Yeah, so he was really good. A great twist, stay for the ending. When you assume it's done, I almost shut it off and it wasn't over.
Oh, damn.
So stay for the ending. So I like that. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Will I see dead people ending there?
No, you won't see dead people. Though there is an element of the ethereal throughout it, kind of tying into some of the Edgar Allan Poe stuff, right?
That's cool.
With him being in it. So it was cool. And then the meat of my viewing, though. So for years, I have never seen the full start to finish The Gentleman, right? Guy Ritchie movie. Have either of you seen it?
No.
I've not
I've seen a lot of Guy Ritchie movies, but I've not seen that one.
Great cast. And I will say I thought it was fantastic, and the ending is a little too fast. Like it needs almost, it's funny, it's a Guy Ritchie movie that needs a director's cut, just to add a little meat to the ending. But the cast is amazing. And Matthew McConaughey, yeah, he plays the weed dealer. It's great. Colin Farrell.
Big fan of Colin Farrell, as I have said here in the past.
Yeah, what's his name from Sons of Anarchy?
That's a show I despise.
I know, but the guy who plays Charlie Hunnam.
Okay. I was going to say Ron Perlman I'll love forever, though. Yeah,
and Hugh Grant plays this smarmy journalist, is fantastic. But the cast is amazing, and the story's great. It's a very, typical kind of Guy Ritchie caper. Great photography, cinematography, the soundtrack, great story, right? Really good kind of whodunit wrapped in like a gangster movie.
What's that one on?
Netflix.
Is it on Netflix? Okay, maybe I'll check that out this week because I want to watch that, and I really want to watch Prey, the Predator movie.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's one I got to dig into because I've got the Hulu now. But I think my next show, I'm going to watch What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
That's what I'm going to jump into. I watched the movie when it came out years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't watched the show?
No, I haven't watched the show yet. I'm really excited to watch it.
Holy shit, it's fucking amazing.
So have you watched all the episodes? Have you watched the whole thing?
I've watched a lot of it. But
okay, all right.
I
can't wait.
I watched some of it by myself here, like first season, and then I was over at my brother-in-law's and we watched I feel like we watched all of the second season just sitting in his living room one afternoon.
Nice.
And it was so good, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. The movie has one of my favorite jokes ever. Is when all the vampires are walking down the street and they come up to the werewolves, and they get into it, and one of them says a curse word, and the lead werewolf, who is he's also one of the guys from Flight of the Conchords. He's the red-haired agent of them. He turns around, he's like, "We're not swearwolves, we're werewolves." That's my humor right there. So, yeah, and then there's the bat fight where the two turn into bats and fight each other, and they're like, "Bat fight!" It's just such a great movie. I love that movie.
I'll have to see that movie.
You've never seen? Okay, it's got some of the same. Some of the cast is the same, except it doesn't have Matt Berry. But Matt Berry's in the show, and Matt Berry, who's also in Fallout. Dude. And the best thing about the IT crowd ever is Matt Berry.
Oh yeah.
Well, hey, I'm not done with The Gentleman, so.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
All right. So let me reel it back in here. So the part of the premise of The Gentleman is like Matthew McConaughey is like this weed drug lord, right, in the UK. And he like the whole shtick that they have is that he hides his weed farms on old, like lords' manors underneath
Like
their
the game.
estates. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, you'll probably see some similarities when you get into the show. So,
Wait. When is what era does this movie take place
in like current times?
Oh, okay.
It's current
Okay.
times, yeah. But it's like, you ever wonder how these real rich, like lords and ladies of Great Britain still afford these castles and everything, right? So the story is that they don't, and really they're getting paid under the table by Matthew McConaughey to use their land, right? And that's how they pay to fix their roofs and stuff because they don't have jobs, right? And all the family money ran out 50 years ago. So he's got like 12 of these, scattered around England, and that's how he hides his production of wheat, right? So enter this year, they released, directed, written, and produced by Guy Ritchie, a series on Netflix centering on one of the lords, and how their relationship with the organization that runs.
Well, that's kind of cool, man.
Is there a lot of the same cast in that, or is it a different cast completely?
None of the same cast.
Okay.
And I can't help but think that they totally retconned the movie in many ways because Matthew McConaughey plays like this American guy that comes to England to go to college and then ends up being like a small-time weed dealer that grows up through the ranks and starts his empire. And he has like his character and none of his guys are anywhere in this movie. There's like a different guy, an English guy that runs the whole thing. So I kind of retconned that, but it stars Theo James, who I think he's like the 50 Shades of Grey guy, right?
I have no idea.
And Giancarlo Esposito, man. And Giancarlo Esposito, I'm not really spoiling anything because you get to it in like second episode, but he plays a meth dealer who runs a global meth, empire. So it's kind of funny and kind of like a funny thing, like Easter egg in there. But it's got a great cast. The story's really good. Just centering on like this dysfunctional kind of British. He's a duke, right? There's only like 24 of them in England, and about them trying to survive with this relationship with this drug empire going on in their backyard. So really good. The writing's good. It gets a little long on some of the episodes, but if you like Guy Ritchie, you'll enjoy it. I liked it a lot. I give it 2 thumbs up there.
Cool.
Yeah.
The Good Witch is a TV series that aired from 2015 to 2021.
I don't know. What's it about? Come on, give us the 4-on-1.
It's a fantasy drama television series. It's based on a continuation of the television film series of the same name. Produced by Whiz Bang Films in association with ITV Studios and the Hallmark Channel. So you know it's good.
Really?
Catherine Bell plays Cassie Nightingale, the titular Good Witch of the film series, both co-produced and starring in the series.
Yeah, it looks stupid.
Yeah, no, The Good Wife was not that. It was on like CBS forever. It was on.
But wasn't it a spinoff of something?
The Good Wife?
Good Wife. I thought it was a spinoff.
No, The Good Wife had 2 spinoffs. What was the? It's Julia Margulies, right? From ER.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a spinoff, The Good Fight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I just found it. There's a good TV universe, which has The Good Fight, The Good Doctor, The Good Cop, The Good Place.
There's no Good Cop. What?
I'm seeing it here. The Good Cop, Good Girls, and Good Behavior. It doesn't have The Good Witch on this list, though, but that's just some of the collection.
What are you talking about? There is no.
I'm talking about there's an absolute exploration. Yeah, this is.
It's not the same universe.
Oh, it is. Let me tell you,
No.
it is.
Where are you seeing this?
Look
I
it up.
wanna
Look
know.
up the Good TV universe.
The good
No,
TV.
it's just somebody took a collection of all the shows
Good
that start with the word good.
was
That's
all
all
the
it is. And just
creators.
like
Yeah,
making
okay.
up lore behind it all. That's all it is.
Very good. Yeah, I actually really like the Good Wife and the Good Fight, and one of the characters they spun her off, Elsbeth. Chuck, did you watch Good Wife?
No.
I like
it's a really
Good
good
Place.
legal drama. Yeah, the Good Place is not the same thing.
I like the Good Place.
But
Good Place
Elsbeth
was good.
That's good.
Elsbeth just came out on Paramount or something, I think.
Number 9.
Not gonna watch it.
There you go. It's
Yep.
a lot of TV to watch if you ever try and get through it, because there's like, I think 10 seasons combined, but it's a good show.
I don't know, man. I've been
I-
watching a lot of. My wife and I are going through. It's Law and Order. Which one is it? It's the one with the criminal organizations.
Is the one Ice-T tells people he's going to put them in Rikers.
No, that's Special Victims Unit.
Yeah, that's just for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which John Mulaney is
Does
the
it
best
go?
at Ice-T.
Bum, bum.
And
Yeah. John Mulaney does a great Ice-T.
like,
He does do a really good Ice-T. Yes.
you've heard that bit,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, sure.
Where he's shocked at it, every time he hears something crazy. Yeah, I love that. Oh, man.
Do you think the Beatles are gonna give us a cease and desist if I use Revolution 9 at any point in this podcast?
No, I don't think it'll be a problem.
I'm not gonna use it, but
Yeah.
Bring it on! Who owns their catalog now?
well, Michael Jackson's dead.
Oh my God, I heard that he was killed because he wouldn't sell the Beatles music.
What?
I just heard that the other day. It's like some crazy conspiracy theory. He was killed. Oh, who else was killed? Oh, Cosby's in jail or was put in jail because of, I can't remember what it was.
And then,
basically,
Prince probably has something to do with it.
Prince too. Prince
Yeah,
was killed
would
too.
probably
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, guys.
Paul McCartney got him back.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
Paul McCartney. It's Ringo. He's the one that's laughing the hardest.
Yeah. He filed a lawsuit to regain the rights to the Beatles songs based on some law.
Good for him. Good for him.
And Sony did a private settlement to give him the rights to the music.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to be using Beatles music to sell shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Sony bought it from the Jackson estate for like almost $1 billion. Crazy.
Look,
That's good money, man.
I wish I
That's
wrote
good
something
money.
that was worth $1 billion.
Have you seen that movie, by the way? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, the one where like the guy gets hit by the bus or whatever.
Like
and
nobody
he starts
remembers-
playing Nobody Knows the Beatles Don't Exist, and he's writing all the songs or the Beatles songs. Yeah, it's great.
I dug it. It was fun, man.
Yeah, it's a fun
I
movie.
like that movie. I like that movie too. The main character was, what was he? What was
Indian dude, right?
He was Indian, right?
Yeah.
See, I like to see that kind of thing where, like, I can totally get behind a movie. Like, for example, one of the critics of Starship Troopers was the main character was supposed to be from Venezuela or something like that.
Mhm.
Somewhere in
Yeah,
South America.
Yeah, that's the stupidest criticism in the universe.
Yeah, but back in the I don't give a crap.
No. Understand? No. This is why this is a stupid argument. Not what you're talking about. What you're talking about is completely legit. In this particular situation, though, he's in Argentina. Where did all the Nazis go after World War II?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But
he's
still,
supposed to be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy from South America,
Argentina,
because the movie is about
Right.
fascism.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
makes
commentary
absolute sense.
on that. He's supposed to be that. Yeah.
Yeah. They could have done it better. I think they could reboot that and make it better today.
What movie is that?
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the book and the movie are totally different, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both like... One is like heavy satire and dark comedy, the movie. The other one is a commentary on the military, but it's different. It's a different feel altogether. I read the book also. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Let's
All right. Kind of hit a wall right there. So, and we're at about an hour, so I say we wrap.
Oh, one thing I want to recommend, if we're just before we jump off. I've been listening to a podcast called Dungeons and Daddies, and it is not a BDSM podcast. It is
You
a
lost
Dungeons
me.
and Dragons. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. They've had 2 seasons. Season 3 just started. I've listened to 2 episodes, and it's like starting in the 50s, and it's really funny. I just highly recommend it.
And anybody we would know doing this one?
Yes, you would know. Hold on, I'll
Okay.
bring up the cast.
But do you know? Yeah, bring up a cast right now, and I'll vamp again while you're looking this up because we didn't really have all our material here. I hope everybody enjoyed number 9.
Well, I didn't know I was going to talk about it until just now, right?
You know what? It's all good. It's all good. We talk about whatever we want to talk about here, and that's what
You
makes
might
it
know.
so
You might know
fresh.
some of these guys. Anthony Birch. You got Matt Arnold.
Nope.
Will Campos.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Freddie Wong.
Maybe.
Beth May.
No.
And Ryan Fernandez. No.
What are they from? What are they from?
High school, like what was it called?
Musical?
No, it was like a web show that they did.
I don't.
They also did this really cool podcast where I can't remember what it was called, but they used to pitch movie ideas. They had some of the coolest movie ideas, man. God, that was such a good podcast. But yeah, I highly recommend it. Go listen to it. It's good. I also recommend Glass Cannon if you guys get a chance to listen to Glass Cannon. And you like Dungeons and Dragons podcasts. That one's really good too. So
does Mabim Bam still do their Dungeons and Dragons podcast?
Well, it's not the current it's called let's see. What is it called?
Because I know they were doing like entire runs, and then people would actually animate, or not animate, but like do comic versions of their Dungeons and Dragons runs.
And
release
in fact,
those.
their first podcast, the first Adventure Zone is what it's called.
Adventure Zone
had like a bunch of comics came out. Like they did the whole thing in comics.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them, I think.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I bought them. And they did one just recently. They're on a new one now. I haven't started listening to it yet. I like to let episodes build up so I can listen to them all at one time. But they did one where it was like in this like futuristic, like kind of Westworld meets Disney World kind of thing, and it was pretty cool. It was really cool. And Justin McElroy was the game master. I thought it was really interesting. So
all right, yeah, that's good. That's always a fun listen. Anyway,
yeah, the Adventure Zone is fun.
Cool. So is the Burning Ewok. The Burning Ewok, a lot of fun.
The Burning Ewok podcast. I would love to
or as the cool kids call it, the Bewalk podcast.
I think it'd be cool to do it.
Dungeons and Daddies cast, and Freddie Wong plays Glenn Close.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. And
so Jimmy Wong plays Jodie Foster.
Yeah, but that's just their names. Just their names. Characters are totally different, but
it's
it's very funny. Yeah, they're very funny people.
Let's wrap.
All right, man.
Peace out.
See you guys
next
week.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.
I'll catch you in the cow level.
Peace. Number 9.
My little buttercup has sweetest smile.
I think we're okay.